Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Going within the illusion of the self. The illusion of the self. This we have to understand. First of all, we have to understand that ego is not a reality. Ego is not a reality. It is just an idea. You do not come with it. When you come into the world, you do not bring it with yourself. It is not part of your being. When a child is born, he does not bring ego into the world. Ego is something that you learn while interacting in the world of objects and beings. It is not the part of genetic. Gordon Allport calls the self properium calls ego as self-properium, and it can be defined by considering the adjective form appropriate, as in the word appropriate. It refers to something that belongs to or is unique to a person. Just appropriate. Appropriate. The self is created because each nothingness is unique. You are nothingness, the emptiness within. It is unique. Mine is unique. Everyone is unique in his own way. And this is the only way to flower. Because of this uniqueness, there is a possibility that ego is created. Different chefs are unique in their own way. Everyone, if one wok is given to 5 different people, for example, a question is given to answer 5 different people, each one of them will answer in his own unique way. There may not be or may be some similarities, but each one of you, one of the person will respond or reply it in his own way. I love my own way. You love your own way. I have my way. You have your way. There is a difference between the people, but only a difference. The rose flower blossoms in one way, orchid blossoms in another way, rose blossoms in a different way. If we consider rose blossoming as the only blossoming of the flower, or that of orchid or that of marigold, it is erroneous. But this is where the ego comes. What is most important is flowering. There are different flower plants in the garden. Each one of them are blossoming, but blossoming in their own way. What is important is the blossoming and attaining to the fruition. But each flower, rose blossoms in this unique way, and in rose also, in each flower, there is a wide spread of colors. Orange flower, orange rose, white, pink, different shades of pink, purple. Each is unique in its own way and adds to the beauty of the garden or the bouquet. But what is important is flowering. In the same way, consciousness is unique, and because of this uniqueness of the consciousness, each appears to be unique. And because of this uniqueness, there is a possibility for ego to breed in. When there is a cooking competition, one dish is given to be made to 5 or 6 different competitors. Each makes it in his own way and considers it to be the best. And that's where the ego comes in. Now, how does ego enter in an individual? Because it is not something that you come with, you are born with. It is that you gather while interacting in the world of objects and beings. There are 7 doors through which ego can filter in you. And these 7 doors have to be understood one after the other. I will take the first door. If you understand them, you will be able to drop the ego. Sufis use the word nafs for ego. Nafs amara, nafs lavama, nafs mutmain. So every path speaks of ego in a different way. As I said, Sufis use the word nafs. Ego is the word in English. False identity, aham. All these are the words. And if you understand really how does ego enter into you through the first door, you will be able to close that door. Because these doors, understood perfectly well, can be closed, then the ego is no longer created in you. Seen rightly, understood perfectly well, that the ego is just a shadow. It starts disappearing on its own. Sufis have emphasized that along the path of teachings or the spiritual transformation, first the various stages of nafs have to be cleared. The first door is known as the bodily self, or the door of the body. You are not born with a sense of self. The child in the mother's womb has no sense of the self. He is one with the mother. He is utterly one, joined, bridged with the mother. and the mother is his whole existence. He gets nourishment through the mother, through the umbilical cord. He does not know that he is separate from the mother. Separation comes the moment child comes out of the womb. Separation comes when the child comes out of the womb, when his bridge with the mother is broken. How can he do? What is he going to do? He cannot even breathe as yet. So he is not there. Breathing happens. It's not that he has to make an effort. Doctors, nurses, all in the hospitals are waiting for the breathing to happen. It is not that the child is doing it because he knows nothing about the breathing. It is happening. You look at it when circumstances and situation comes, your breathing changes. Are you doing it consciously? The moment you start doing it consciously, you can change that particular circumstance and situation which is making this to happen. When anger comes in, when fear comes in, your breathing becomes shallow. You starts holding the breath. At that time, understanding this, changing the breathing pattern will change the situation of fear or anger that is trying to filter in you. Now, the child, all the bridges, all the connections with the mother are severed. He has come out of the womb. The breathing has not yet started. He cannot breathe on his own. Breathing has to come in. Then suddenly the breathing happens. It is not that the child is doing it. It is happening. It comes from where? It comes from nowhere. Comes out of nothingness. The child suddenly starts breathing. Those few seconds before the breathing happens, they are very, very valuable, critical, delicate and dangerous. Parents, doctors, nurses who are looking after the birth are all in great waiting whether the child is going to breathe or not. And sometimes it happens the child does not breathe and we consider that it is a stillbirth. Child cannot be forced. He cannot be persuaded. The child cannot do anything on his own. It is going to happen and going to happen on its own. It may happen, it may not happen. It may happen, sometimes the children never breathe, then we think they are born dead. It's a miraculous how child takes the first breath. He has never done it before. His lungs are not functional even before, but breath comes in. There is movement in the lungs. Miracle starts, breathing happens. But breath is coming out of nothingness. Remember, later you may start saying, I am breathing. And this is what everybody does, I am breathing. If you are conscious, you will not use this word, I am breathing. Instead, you will say breathing is happening and I am aware of it. It is absurd to say that I am breathing. You are not breathing. Breathing is happening. Don't create the idea of I am breathing. Nobody is breathing. Because that is not within your capacity to do or not to do. It happens on its own. Sometimes certain circumstances and situation change the breathing patterns. You can try. Stop breathing for a few seconds. You will know how difficult it is to stop. Within seconds, a great rush comes in from nowhere and you start breathing again. Or stop breathing outside. Try for a few seconds and suddenly you will see a great rush. It is beyond you. The breathing wants to come in. It is nothing that is breathing in you. It's not that there is something that is breathing in you. Or it is nothing that is breathing in you. You can call this nothing as God. It makes no difference. It is the same thing, nothing or God. Nothing is the term that Buddha used. It means exactly the same as God means in Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism. So both God and nothingness mean the same thing. As an individual, you are not born with a sense of self. It is not part of our genetic endowment. The infant is not able to distinguish between self and the world around. Even when the child has started breathing, it takes few months for him to become aware that there is a distinction between his inside and outside. Gradually, through increasing complex learning and perpetual experiences, a vague distinction comes between something in me and other thing outside there. He begins to understand the difference between the inner and outer. This is the first door through which ego enters. After the breathing starts, sometime after, the child begins to make a distinction between within me, something within me tells me. Now you will say that something within me tells this. And so he becomes aware of something within him and something out there. This is the first door through which ego enters. The distinction that there is something in me is the first door. For example, the child feels hungry. He can feel it coming from inside because it is not something which is coming from outside. And then the mother slaps the child and he feels it coming from outside. Hunger he is feeling from within. When mother slaps, a hurt comes in, it is coming from outside. Now a distinction is bound to be felt by and by. There are things which come from inside and there are things which come from outside. When a mother smiles, he can see the smile is coming from there. And then there is a response. He also smiles. Now he can feel the smile is coming from within, somewhere inside him. Someone says something to you, it strikes something within, a hurt is felt within, but it is the outcome of something outside. The idea of inside and outside arises. This we have to understand. Someone starts telling you some things, it is coming from outside. You take in within, response comes from within. This is, so whatsoever the person is saying, it is his view about you, about your life, about your things. You do not have any understanding of your own, so you listen to the words of the others and you react. Ego has entered from this door. The idea of inside and outside arises. This is the first door, first experience of ego. In fact, no distinction between outside and inside. There is no distinction between outside and inside. Inside is the part of the outside and outside is the part of inside. Because whatsoever happens within, somebody has said something, you feel hurt, it is the part of outside. Inside, whatsoever is happening is the part of outside. And when mother smiles, it is outside. And then you respond. So two are interconnected with one another. Inside is the part, in what response comes within you is part of outside. And when your response is expressed in the outer world, outside is the part of inside. A sky inside your house and a sky outside your house are not two skies. The space in different rooms is not different. It is the same space. Remember, there is only one sky. And so it is the case, so is the case with you, there, and I here are not two. We are two aspects of the same energy. Just as the space within two rooms is the same, it is the same emptiness, same space, two aspects of the same coin. But the child starts learning the ways of ego. This is mine. This is the first door, the door of the body through which ego enters. I can go on giving the examples. The space that you are born with, because you are ever expanding consciousness, so is the other, so is everyone. And everyone will respond in his or her own unique way. And this is when we are guided by this, then ego enters into it. This is the first aspect of nafs. There is no need to go into, but there are people to whom this talk will be meaningless because they have Islamic background or Sufi background. But the seven doors, the word door that is used to come in the room or go out of the room is the same. You may call it by different names in different countries, in different places, but that does not change the quality of it. Water you may call by different names, but its quality of quenching the thirst is never changed. We have to understand this. I am taking from different angles the same situation, same condition, same explanation. This is the 7 doors. The first door is the door through the bodily because of the breathing. When the child is in mother's womb, he is bridged through the umbilical cord, he is dependent on the mother for nourishment, for breathing, for everything. The moment child is born, all those bridges are broken, the connections are severed, the child is not breathing. Those few moments before the child begins to breathe are very delicate and very delicate moments for the doctors, nurse, parents, and all those who are in the operation theatre or in the delivery room. But child cannot breathe on his own. Suddenly the breathing comes in. His lungs becomes functional. Suddenly it happens. So then he becomes aware of his inner and outer. This is in me. When a mother slaps the child, something is hurt within. Response is there within. So he becomes slowly and slowly of his within and without. This is mine, this is yours. And because we are all ever expanding consciousness, there is uniqueness. You will speak, your voice modulation is different than mine. The same sentence, if I ask 10 different people to read, they will read in their own unique way. Nothing is wrong in it. This is how it's supposed to be. But if we understand correctly that not only I am right, but the other is also right because he is also unique, then we can really understand the first door through which ego enters into us. This is the first door. The second door is known as self-identity. The child learns its name, realizes that the reflection in the mirror today is that of the same person that he has seen yesterday. He believes that sense of me or the self persists in the face of changing experiences. The child goes on knowing everything that changes. Sometimes he is hungry, sometimes he is not. Sometimes he is sleepy, other times he is not, instead he is awake. Sometimes he is angry, sometimes he is loving. Things go on changing. One day it is beautiful, another day it is dark and dismal. But he stands before the mirror. This second door of self-identity I will take in tomorrow's session. Today, the first door, this is the door, the physical, the bodily self I spoke. Gordon Allport calls it bodily port. This is the first door through which ego enters into you. It is connected with your birth and the circumstances and situations and conditionings prevailing at the birth. You are born. The moment child is born, he is not breathing in. And what begins to breathe in him? Breathing comes as a miracle in you. You can call it soul comes in at that time. Or it comes from nothing. And that is how the first door enters. There is no way. First of all, you have to blow the balloon. Only then you will learn to burst it, to blow it out. Ego has to grow like a balloon, then it has to be pricked with your awareness so that it flattens, and you become, and that flattening process is known as understanding the way ego enters from the first door, the bodily self. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care. The broadcast is live streaming through Facebook, through YouTube, and through Skype online. It starts 6 o'clock in Trinidad time, which is the Eastern time, but during the winter months, the clocks are set 1 hour behind. So it starts in North America 5 o'clock in the morning. Europe, it is 6 hours ahead of Trinidad Eastern time. India, it is 3:30 in the afternoon when the live streaming begins. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.